like you to welcome Jamie Anderson to the show. Jamie, thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you, John.
Well, Jamie, tell me how you became a Trump voter and decided to hate Hillary.
Well, I don't know that I hate anyone, but I'm definitely, I was a former Democrat. Actually, I grew up my entire life as a Democrat. Unionism. When Obama came on the scene, at first I was very supportive and was looking forward to him being president.
You were saying, yes, we can, huh?
And then about 2 weeks later, I changed my mind.
Well, talk a little bit about what made you change your mind, because I know you, but the listeners don't. There's a lot that went into your kind of transition.
If you start to question religion, it usually brings you to Jesus, or brings you to God.
It strengthens your faith.
So I started questioning things more, and adding the common sense approach to every individual issue. The left was so good about tapping into emotion.
Yeah, they use emotional argument, generally speaking. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I believe I jumped on that bandwagon. And then when we had someone like Obama come in to the picture, I fell into that.
Is it okay if we talk a little bit about your personal life?
Absolutely.
Folks, I just have to tell you, full disclosure, not only is he a Trump supporter, an avid Trump supporter, he's also a gay man in a committed relationship. I'm just curious about how you got to that place where you're like, you know what, the marriage thing isn't enough to sway me. The Democrats keep throwing that in my face. These issues matter more. What were those issues that clinched it for you, Jamie?
Well, first of all, this is kind of funny, and I think we had it good before. I was okay with the way it was before, because gay marriage, all that means is when you separate, which that means they get half.
Talking to some of my gay friends, I'm looking at it from the tax code standpoint. I'm thinking, was this one of the biggest con jobs in history? I mean, they just found a way to double or triple the take for Uncle Sam without even blinking.
Well,
and you got all the legal costs, because on average, the relationships don't last as long. No offense.
That's very true. And the only people that are going to make money there are the attorneys.
And lots of it, I'm sure. Well, hey, you were telling me something the other day about conservatives should just stop caring about babies. Tell me why you think that.
My fellow Christians are going to disagree with this, but
it's okay. They can handle it.
It should be their choice. That's right. And we shouldn't judge them, because they're the ones that have to answer to God, not us. We have our own sins to answer for on Judgment Day, and so do they. And whether I believe it's right or it's wrong.
Well, my question to you then, as we go into the break, is what happens if we start expanding your idea of, hey, it's God's thing, it's between her and God, or him and God? Well, murder is too. I mean, I can go out and murder somebody, and that's between me and God. Should the law no longer require punishment, or that they be removed from society?
Well, you didn't create the person that you murdered.
We're dealing in hypotheticals, clearly, but California just decriminalized child trafficking. Who would have ever thought in the history of the U.S. that would happen? But that's what I'm getting at, is you can carry this so far.
Apples to apples, oranges to oranges. I don't think that they can be compared to one another.
Okay.
Like each issue its own. But I was just thinking, I don't know what the pro-lifer Christians are crying about. It's like, I don't have a problem if,
the children.
All those people want to abort more Democrats.
What do you think and see as a voter? When you see that, do you go, hey, they're really exposing corruption, I want to vote for the Democrat now? I mean, what do you think when you see that?
This raises my blood pressure.
Had to, sorry.
That whole topic just boils my blood.
But you're in the Army. I mean, you're not scared of Russia? You don't care about Russia?
Well, I'm not afraid of them, because Trump just put, $700 billion? Facts will win over emotion every time.
Right.
And it will cause people to question their beliefs And that's the last thing that the left wants. It goes back to, when Clinton, I did not have sex with that woman.
Well, I just loved his Oval Office apology when he was finally caught. The man had no tell except a kind of a lip bite that was actually a grin after like 30 minutes of dead stare. And that apology speech, I was like 12, 13 at the time, staring at the TV. And he was masterful. He convinced me as a young man that it was really insensitive of us to waste so much of his precious time that he could be fixing the country, with this woman who couldn't get a stain out. I want to give credit where credit is due. Something that Bill did in the 90s was he did reach across the aisle with Newt Gingrich, and he actually signed objectively good policies, pro-growth policies, into law that made his second term a record. I mean, 18 million new private sector jobs, 4% unemployment. Admittedly, the Republicans gave him a great package. The contract for all economic incentives and, capital gains went down. But Bill still signed him. He still should get credit for allowing good policies to be enacted.
It is what it is, or it was what it was.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Depends
Mr.
on
Trump
what the meaning of is really.
Oh, that's sex?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that's what sex was.
Right. If someone had told me that this sort of thing was frowned upon.
God love you, Bill.
Don't Republicans that get in the way of our own wins, doesn't that make you mad?
John, you're right. They do. And I can only speculate reasons why. And because I'm not on the Hill. I don't have those relationships.
Cowardice, maybe. It's just off the top of my head. Maybe they're cowards.
No, I think it's a lot deeper than that. And
they don't know they're cowards. Correct. That's probably right.
There's a possibility that the deep state, every so many years, that's the reason why we go back and forth. They say, okay, we're going to let the left get rich for the next 4 to 8 years.
When the left gets it, Nancy Pelosi's like, we want tough, I mean, it's get out the way, and sometimes it's even, I'm going to deem this passed, even though we're short a few votes. Republicans get it, and it's like, well, we have to give them everything they want anyway because it's our responsibility to the minority. Thankfully, Trump says none of that. He's even gotten turtleneck Mitch McConnell to grow a pair.
Well, Trump upsets both sides because he's truly trying to give America back to the people.
All righty. Well, folks, you heard it from Jamie Anderson, a typical Trump voter. We need to take this country back, and we need to finish the job that John F. Kennedy started.